comparing yourself to other people is another way to surely reach burnout or failure, one of two.
They want to make more money, and then more business, and then more people, and then more team, and then more offices, more stuff, and then you build a life that is controlling you.
Yes.
The things that you own, they own you.
Yes.
This is the biggest problem I see, because they can't say stop.
If I trace back my life, there were many very severe breakdowns. And I believe that breakdowns are a message from yourself to you, basically, telling you that you need to wake up. Something needs to change.
Welcome back to the Dubai Self-Made Show. Today I'm here with Arsalan Al Hashimi. How are you, brother?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Arsalan is a top performer. He's also a coach for athletes, but not only athletes, also CEOs and entrepreneurs who want to elevate their performance. But I know also you have a background in the corporate world, and then you were an athlete also, and then you made a transition into coaching for elite athletes and entrepreneurs. So Arsalan, tell me a little bit about your story and what made you become a coach basically in this field.
Where do I start? So one thing I noticed about my life when I was kind of trying to assess a lot of things was that I feel like my whole life I've been in flow. I never really had plans, to be very, very honest. I think part of it was because I grew up here in the UAE and we weren't exposed to too many options. So basically, if you ever spoke to your parents about what you're going to do, an athlete was definitely not something that they would say you should do, as opposed to Europe or in the States, where there could be a possibility.
It's more popular,
yeah,
definitely.
There are maybe 3 professions that were approved of by society, you know, the same lawyer, doctor and engineer, you know, and none of them ever resonated with me, ever. And so I just kind of went with the flow in life, my whole life. And that goes from the sports I played to the career I chose. Anything that fell in my lap, I did, basically. I think at some point, if I would have, I remember in my career, like when I just started my career when I was about 26, 27, if I'd show my CV to an HR person, they'd literally think I'm crazy, because in those days it was traditional to stay in one job for a very long time. And
you
me,
were
because
changing every 6 months.
It was just whatever came, I just did. You know, whatever I found exciting, I'd do it. That has a connection to something we could speak about later, which is the most important thing in my business, which is the pursuit of joy in everything you do. That should be the kind of your guiding North Star, your guiding principle. A lot of people speak about that now. But to take you back, I started playing squash when I was very young, at the age of 12. I was one of the top players in Asia until I was about 17. And then that got cut short because my dad said I couldn't play that. I couldn't go to the World Championships.
Why?
For the reasons I just told you. It wasn't approved of. For their reasons, my parents, for their reasons.
Because it was not a job.
It was not a job. There was no security.
Yeah.
Anyway, squash is a poor man's game. Just now, the last 3 or 4 years, it's become something where the top squash players are getting paid well. It wasn't something like tennis or something, which my dad was a tennis player. So I think also my dad felt betrayed that I didn't play tennis. But then I went to the States and I actually switched sports. I played volleyball, NCAA.
Wow.
Yeah, first division. And I played beach volleyball. And then I came back here and my life kind of was turned upside down because my dad retired and my brother got forced to leave his job. And so my dad at some point looked at me and said, "You're the number one.
You're head of the family now."
Yeah, you're not the.
No, he is the head.
He's still the head, but you're going to provide financially.
Okay.
Right? And I graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts, which is not something a lot of people know. I went to a very hippie art school. Okay. So when I came back, all of a sudden I had to provide. And so that's how I started my government career. I was actually sitting in a cafe. I had designed a branding for a cafe that was really popular in Abu Dhabi. And I met somebody there that asked me to do a marketing job for them. I did the marketing job. They liked it. And then they asked me to join. And that was in the airport, in Abu Dhabi airport. It was called the Department of Civil Aviation then, before they privatized. And then I entered that world, airports. I knew nothing about it. It was a very steep learning curve. entered through ground handling, which is kind of the poor man job of the airport. You know, the stuff that people don't see, petrol, luggage, handling, like all of that stuff.
Operations.
The unseen people.
Okay.
Right? And grew my way up until I became a senior project director in the chairman's office after the privatization, which was basically like a senior advisory role. That was in about 5 or 6 years. So it was a very, very quick climb from the lowest denominator.
Yeah. How was Abu Dhabi back then?
Abu Dhabi
I'm curious about, because probably you are the only person I know that has been here since forever. Like,
since forever.
Because all of us are expats, basically. Yeah.
I mean, I was born 47 years ago, so I'm approximately as old as the UAE is, to be very
Oh my
honest
God,
with you.
yeah, so true.
In our days in Abu Dhabi, even Dubai, they were like a village. It wasn't even
sick.
you couldn't even consider it a town.
No way.
Everybody knew everybody. You go to the supermarket, you know everyone. All the teenagers, all of us, like growing up, we all knew each other. If it's a maximum 2nd degree separation. So if you didn't know this person and you meet a new person, you're new. They're like, oh, I'm this guy's friend, and then you become friends. You know, so it was very small, very tight knit community. We didn't have so much to do. I grew up on the beach. We used to go spearfishing, hang out on the island, chill out, like all of that kind of stuff. It was very beautiful, outdoorsy kind of life. It's funny because I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. I was in Abu Dhabi. My wife works in Abu Dhabi. And I met this Japanese woman who asked me the same question. Like, wow, you're one of the old timers. Can you tell me about what Abu Dhabi was like? And I noticed while I was talking is that I don't have any more memories in Abu Dhabi. Nothing.
Why?
Nothing from my old life exists.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing there. Nothing.
That's
my old
sick.
neighborhood's
Yeah,
not there
it's crazy.
anymore. Like my old school is almost not there anymore. Like there's nothing.
Even the landscape have changed.
nothing.
Because now you have man-made islands, you have new
I don't know how
stuff.
to get around.
No way.
I don't.
It's crazy.
I didn't know. Like before, there were maybe 3 major streets, literally from the Corniche, and then there's Electra Street, it was called, and then Hamdan, and then there were a few other streets, and that was all Abu Dhabi. Like that's it.
Crazy.
That's it.
Crazy.
You could walk Abu Dhabi in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we saw it kind of grow outwards into the sea too. So all of the land that's now reclaimed land, that all kind of, Abu Dhabi kind of grew outwards.
Dubai is a bunch of islands, basically, right?
No, Dubai is mainland.
It's mainland. Okay.
And then all the islands you see.
So the islands is where the city then grew into the island. Okay.
Yeah, into the islands. And the islands are all reclaimed and stuff.
Okay. Didn't know about that.
They're not real.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we saw.
But most of them are
happen.
natural islands, right?
Started as a natural island.
And then they built.
They built out. They built out onto it. Yeah.
Nice.
All the stuff that you see now is almost reclaimed.
But now I have a question for you. So, corporate life, maybe I don't see you working in that kind of environment.
Oh my God, I worked in the government for 10 years. So I worked in the Department of Civil Aviation, which became the Abu Dhabi Airports Company. The new midfield terminal, you saw the new one that's built. That was our announcement. That was my project. Yeah, that was my project. And then I moved from there into the DOT, the Department of Transport, which is legislative and operational, much bigger.
But they were all government offices. Okay. Nothing private. Okay.
Yeah, serious. I was very into the whole corporate government life.
Corporate government.
And then after I finished the DOT, I was asked to leave. And so then I entered the corporate world. And the corporate world was through a British company that opened their offices here. I was their client in the government, and then they asked me to head up their regional office. And so I opened their regional office, headed it up for 5 years. That's when I had my whole thoughts around corporate world. Do I belong there? And that's when I took a break and did the Ironman, triathlons and Ironman for 5 years, completely, exclusively. I didn't do anything
Why
else.
you went into triathlon?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there are.
At that time, you already quit squash, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that time, what happened was, it's funny you bring up squash. I tried to come back to squash.
Okay.
All right. And I did really well. I played a few tournaments. And then I got invited to this big tournament in Dubai in Ramadan that had professionals and stuff like that. and I got creamed by my coach's little son. He killed me. He beat me something like 15-0, 15-1, 15-1.
No way.
And I got injured. And that's when I realized, I was like, my buddy can't this kid, like he's like almost doing figure eights around me.
No way.
Like how I used to play with people when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. I need to get physically stronger if I'm even gonna have hope to not make it as a professional. I wanted to go into the seniors. I wanted to go into the 40 plus division. Just to go to the world championships, do something.
Yeah.
And so I started training at this gym, and the trainer that was there was an Ironman athlete.
Okay.
And so one day he comes in with this like beautiful bike. And
What year was that?
Huh?
What year?
That was...
When was it?
Exactly 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
No,
Okay.
more, 10 years ago.
10?
Yeah.
But Ironman was already popular, right? 10 years ago, it was already popular.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as now, but it was popular.
Yeah. It was
I knew about Ironman 10 years ago.
It was becoming a thing. So he walks in with this bike. He's Brazilian. And I was like, I've never seen a bike like this before. He's like, yes, it's called a TT bike. You sit on it like this and you wear this stuff. And us guys, I'm like, wow, toys, So I'm like, okay. So literally, bro, I left the gym. I went and bought the most expensive bike I can see, like $10,000 or something like that. I bought, and it was the wrong bike.
Like Alice did when she started the
same
Ironman,
same story as Alice. So I went and bought
the best bike.
Yeah, the best bike. The commitment, right? That's it. So, and then I was committed. I just kind of started from scratch because I was never a long distance person ever. I played squash, I played volleyball, very powerful things. I did MMA for a while, jiu-jitsu, fighting stuff. And so I started this journey. It was like 5-6 years, self-experimentation. I did a lot of biohacking. And that was kind of my entrance then into the performance world. And
you were doing biohacking to improve your performance in triathlon, or in general?
Yeah, in general. But also to improve performance in triathlon. Because when you're doing a sport like that,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah,
I don't know how you made it. How many Ironman you made?
I just did 2.
2?
Yeah.
But it's still a lot.
Yeah. I never actually wanted to, even when I went into triathlons, I never wanted to do Ironman. I like the short distances.
Mm-hmm. Like sprint. Sprint Olympic.
Maximum the Olympic. Like I didn't even like, Olympic is the worst distance by the way.
Really?
Horrible. It's somewhere in the middle.
I've done only the sprint.
The Olympic is like, when you have to run like 10K, there's a difference between running 5K and 21K.
It's true.
The 10K is like the most, I don't think a lot of people know that. 10K,
that's true.
It's in between the high threshold and low threshold somewhere.
I suffer more in the 10K than in the half marathon. I suffer way more in the 10K.
So the Olympic is that kind of distance. It's just
because you want to push because you want to make a good time, but then you feel bad when you're pushing. I know.
Yes.
I know the feeling.
It's this weird zone that you have to be in. So as soon as I got to the Olympics, so I did the super sprint. I did like maybe 15 sprints. And then I did the Olympic. And when I did the Olympic, I was like, it's either I go back down or I go up. And of course, ego made me go up. It was purely an egotistical decision, by the way. It wasn't this was the time I didn't do something out of joy. Absolutely not.
You felt bad because you were not training, right? This is the feeling.
No, I just felt like I was being judged. Somehow,
judged? Okay.
For not going the extra distance. Like that. Like the smaller distances were not really significant. I don't know if it was outside judgment I was worried about or self-judgment. I don't know. I felt like I wasn't going the full distance.
Maybe you wanted to see your full potential.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wish I can give it a positive spin like that, but it wasn't very positive.
But how was the feeling of completing, like when you crossed the finish line?
I will be very, very honest with you. I was really sick.
Shit.
I was really, really sick.
You didn't even enjoy it.
I actually had what's this virus called? I forgot, the one you get that is also kind of aligned with adrenal fatigue. I forgot what it was, but it's a really nasty virus.
You caught it before the race, or you think?
No, afterwards. When I found out this whole thing about chronic stress and burnout and stuff, that's when I found out all of this stuff. I basically was not very conscious the whole race. I don't remember. I woke up really sick, and I had to make the decision whether I'm going to go race or not. But of course, as an athlete, there's a switch. It doesn't. There's no way I was gonna. I've been waiting for. I was training for it for a year.
Yeah.
And so I went and I raced. I raced very, very sick, and I wasn't very aware of almost all of the race.
Oh my God, man!
And the crazy thing was, my coach asked me to finish the race in about, I think the time was about 5:50,
which is a very good time.
I finished in 5:15.
No way. But that's a very good time.
Yeah, but I killed myself.
It's a very good time.
I killed myself. I literally completely burnt myself out.
What happened after?
I was in zone 4 and 5 the whole race. The whole race.
No way.
And it was a storm. I don't know if you know, there was this one race in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, sorry, the half Ironman, the first one I did. There was a big storm. And so they canceled the swim. They halved the swim.
I didn't know about that.
They made the swim 500 meters.
Okay.
Instead of 2 kilometers. But then we had to run on the beach all the way to the
bike.
To the bike. And for me, I'm a swimmer.
Oh, okay.
So they cut down my
your
strength,
best thing.
my best thing, and made us run even more.
No.
And we were like cycling into about like 40 kilometer per hour wind. It was insane. It was crazy. It was a crazy day.
That was your moment of revelation when you realized about chronic stress and fatigue. What happened?
After that, I completely broke down. Completely. I suffered a lot physically, mentally, emotionally. I was at rock bottom, literally rock bottom. And when I went to go see doctors, of course, you know, the traditional ways, all this medication and all these diagnoses.
Take more pills.
Yeah. I got diagnosed bipolar. Some people diagnosed me schizophrenic. I was gone. I was literally going
the
mad.
breakdown. Yeah.
And physically all of these conditions. And then at some point I was sitting at home and there was this bag full of medication. It took like 8 days of me going from doctor to doctor and all these tests and stuff like that. And I was like, there's no way I'm going down this route. Remember I told you I was self-experimenting. And so I had started this journey of designing these pillars of life mastery. And at the beginning there were 3. And those were the 3 I was experimenting on in my life at that stage.
What were those first 3?
Nutrition,
okay.
Sleep, and
training,
and movement and exercise. And
okay.
Workout. At that point, it was called workout. And so, you know, between these 3, these are the major ones. And,
I agree.
And so, when I broke down, I also broke down internally because I was like, all of this stuff I've been experimenting on for 5 years didn't work. You know, this was the stuff that was supposed to support me and hold me up. That's when I started getting into the psychology of things and the mindset of things, because I realized at that point it wasn't a physical problem, because physically I was a specimen. You
were strict with your diet and everything.
I was 100% dialed in, almost too much.
How was the sleep at the time?
Sleep was amazing.
Was good.
Yeah.
So physically you were doing everything fine,
yeah.
But mentally something was wrong.
Mentally something was wrong, and that's when the rest of the 10 pillars got discovered. So I created something called the 10 Pillars of Life Mastery, which you're aware of. It's kind of an IP that we have in the business. And that journey after those 3 years was the discovery of all of these pillars. The quickest one that got discovered was relationships, for example, which was one of the things I realized was the 5 years I did my Ironman, I lost all of my friendships. Everybody. I wasn't seeing anyone. I wouldn't even go out with my wife on dates. I barely saw her because I had to sleep at like 8 p.m. to be able to wake up.
You spend more time with your bike than with your wife.
Yeah. My friends used to tell me, you're riding your bike more than you're riding your bike, which was true. It was true. I was focused, you know. And one of the things.
What was your wife thinking at the time?
My wife was very supportive. I mean, God bless her. My wife she married somebody that's an extreme, you know, in every single part of the description, you know. And she's seen me through. People say they've had ups and downs. I've had severe ups and downs in my life, like severe. Even before that, even through my career and in the government and in corporate.
But she was supportive.
She was very supportive.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have never, ever seen her falter, ever. There wasn't a moment where she said, there was one time where she told me, now that I look at it, it was such a stupid argument. She told me, I'm getting bored of coming to see your races at 4 a.m. in the morning. Because they start, Ironman races start at 4 a.m.
Why?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Just
That's the whole thing around the sport is just
it's
why.
extreme.
It's a million
It's
why.
extreme.
If you're gonna ask that question in that sport, you better not enter that sport.
That's true. That's true.
There are a million whys, literally. Like I'll give you an example. Every morning I had to wake up at 3:30 a.m. to be in Al Qudra at 4:30 a.m. to start riding. Okay.
And Al Qudra, for those who don't know, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
It's pretty extreme.
It's extreme. It's literally, just to describe to you what it is. It's a beautiful facility. So it's this like 50 at that point it was a 50-kilometer race,
a circle,
like
basically
cycle track in the middle of the desert, and it's just bicycles. So you have to understand that context and what I'm going to tell you. The first time I show up, my coach says, "No music, and you're riding alone. You're going that circle
alone."
I've never cycled more than 5 kilometers, right? It's like you're going to go all of that and come back alone, no music. From that day on, I was not allowed to train with music, ever.
Because I don't think it's allowed.
No,
it's not allowed.
That's the point. So you have to...
That makes sense.
You have to imagine every day riding 2-3 hours outside in Al Qudra by yourself in the middle of the desert.
If you die, nobody's going to find you.
No. You can't even listen to music while you die, you can't have a nice soundtrack to your death.
I know, because when Alice was preparing for her triathlon, we went cycling in Al Qudra 2-3 days a week, doing the same 50-kilometer loop. It's endless.
Yeah. It makes you loopy after a while.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes I sit and I think, I do very long meditations. I'm a meditator. I teach meditating. And sometimes I sit in like a 1-hour meditation, for example. And a lot of the times my thinking is, what was I doing on the bike for 3 hours? Like with my thoughts.
You get lost. I know.
I don't remember.
It's a flow. I know.
I don't remember. I wish I could, people ask me, what were you thinking? I wish I can. I can't remember anything. I was thinking. I know a lot of ideas came out of it. A lot of these ideas of the 10 pillars of life mastery and ascension method and self-searching.
But I have a theory about that. I think in endurance sport, when you enter that zone where the heart rate is not too high, that you can sustain it for a long time, and you have those long runs or long bicycles, you can go and you enter that zone where you start meditating about your life, you have ideas, you are channeling something, and you're also healing yourself. This is my theory.
It has a name, technical name. It's called trance.
Yeah.
That's what they call trance state. And trance state is like, if you do hypnosis, if you do the breathwork.
It's very similar. It's very similar.
Yeah, I'm a hypnotist, an NLP practitioner, and breathwork teacher, meditation, and it's all the same. It's all like what I found out now is it's all the same. They all use the same theory, but it's different applications.
Yeah.
And it's all about reaching a trance state. If you can reach a trance state and maintain a trance state and stay in that flow, really, there is not much you actually need to do. It's kind of like you're taking yourself out of your infinite possibilities.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? So
but do you think in that space you create also the opportunities to channel ideas, to get insights, revelations, answers?
You're connecting to the infinite.
You're basically meditating.
Yeah.
But don't you think this kind of sports, especially the endurance ones, attract this kind of people who are seeking for answers, or people who want revenge? What do you think? Because this type of sports always attract weird people. I'm one of them, because I'm doing it to prove I don't even know why I'm doing it, bro. When I'm running the half marathon, I'm there, and there's not a single race that I'm not thinking, why am I here? Why? Who made me wake up at 4 a.m. to run? Why? In the heat, especially here in Dubai, when you do the races, it's crazy. Why? But then I get to the finish line and I feel good.
Yeah. But I think you're touching on the right thing. It's the people that ask why.
Yeah.
These are the people, in majority, that people call weird. That
I call them weird.
Yeah, because you're questioning. You're always questioning yourself. You're questioning outside
your
world.
Limits.
You want to learn. You want to grow. I think that's the kind of people that it attracts. I think through that journey, I discovered a part of myself that I never discovered in any other sport, because it requires that time. You know, squash is super, super, super intense, but maximum 45 minutes, an
it's
hour,
short.
you're done. Beach volleyball, the same. Volleyball is not really similar because it's not a singular sport. You're with other people and you're talking. You're breaking out of that focus, in and out and in and out. The first time I ever discovered that feeling was when I started doing the long distance stuff. And if there's anything I miss about it, it's that. It's that challenge. It's that ability to go to places that you can't go in any other way.
And then I think the best thing is that you can always transition it to your life, everyday life.
Yes.
Like, remember when our house was flooded?
Yeah.
No? In Dubai, our house was a mess.
Yeah.
I show you the pictures that maybe.
Yeah.
So
you were one of the worst I've seen.
I know,
too.
it was one of the worst, definitely. But then the day after, we woke up, me and Alice, and we say, okay, now we're going to clean up the whole house.
Yeah.
We started at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and we finished at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Basically, 18 hours straight cleaning the house. It was easy for us. You know why? Because we are used to go out, run for 2-3 hours straight. It's a mindset thing. Yeah. And never quitting.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
You get yourself focused on a goal and you do it no matter how long it takes, and you get it done. And that's the mindset of an athlete.
It was very powerful for me to get into those kind of sports for my mindset, also for my business.
Yes.
Because when I transition that type of mindset to my everyday life, I get more results in business.
Yeah.
But I never had those type of breakdowns that you had. I never had that feel, maybe because I didn't really push too much, or I was not doing it for ego, I was doing it for passion, maybe. I wanted to ask you about that. What happened to you? Like, why do you? Why do you think you? Why do you think you had that breakdown after the race?
I think if I trace back my life, there were many very severe breakdowns, and I believe that breakdowns are, no matter how severe they are, even if they're small or big, they are a message from you to yourself, from yourself to you, basically, telling you that you need to wake up. Something needs to change. And for me, that breakdown was the ultimate life changer and life teacher for me, because it made me realize that I never did anything without the feeling of, without a negative emotion driving me, like guilt, shame, fear. These were the emotions that were driving me before.
Yeah.
Whether it was my career, whether it was the sports, whatever it was. I never actually really did anything, without telling you before, out of joy. Never.
Yeah.
And so one of the biggest principles we teach at the Ascension is switching, because the high achiever mindset comes with that almost always.
Really?
Almost always. That's what we find, is that most people that are high achievers are driven by something that is very negative. It's a very negative power. I work with
They get results, but then they get burnout,
right? They get amazing results. It's like rocket fuel.
Crazy.
So
what's the secret then to how do you think you have to balance your life?
I think you need a lot of people that are at the point where they're questioning themselves, or questioning what they're doing, or questioning their purpose. A lot of these questions that are becoming very popular to ask now. One of the most important things to do is to sit with yourself and ask that question. Why? Why am I
doing it?
Why am I doing it? And then when you ask that question, ask even more. But why? But why? But why? And try to get to the thing that we used to speak about a lot, which is the root cause. What's the root cause of why I'm doing this? Why did I pursue this career? Why did I choose this wife? Why did I buy this car? Why did I choose this place that I'm living in? And then you balance it, you counteract it with a question, which is, what is enough? What's enough for me? Because nobody asks that question. A lot of the burnout I see in people is because, like with me, I told you, sprint. I wanted to do sprint.
And then more.
I did marathon.
And then more.
More. More is good, but more has to have a cap.
Yeah.
It has to have a cap. Or else you're going to run into a situation where you're going to be endlessly unhappy.
Tell me more about the 10 pillars then. You found out relationship was the fourth one. Then what else?
The fourth one was relationship, and then the fourth one was spirituality.
Okay, spirituality.
The fifth one was relationship. Sorry, I said relationship. Spirituality came really after, because when I was sitting burnt out in my room, literally for 3 months, I didn't want to leave my room. I didn't want to leave my bedroom. And the one thing that I was asking myself was the bigger questions, you know, why am I doing what I'm doing? And all the questions, all the answers I was getting back was very material, very worldly, you know, money, reputation, survival. I had a very survivalist way of thinking that got masked into thinking it was thrival, but it wasn't thrival. It was just survival. You know, I was still this 21-year-old kid or whatever, younger, that was trying to survive the situation he was in. And so all of these answers came out. What is peace? What is joy? What is thrival? What is enough?
This is part of the spirituality pillar.
That was part of the spirituality pillar, yeah. All of these questions, all of this is spirituality.
Yeah, true. Because it's connecting to your true self.
Yeah. I saw this interview between, I know this is going to sound funny, but between Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Oh, you told me that, and Joe Rogan. You told me about that. I saw it.
Yeah. And Joe Rogan asked him a question which kind of solidified my thinking, which was, you know, why... with all the failures that you've had, you know, he tried to be Snoop Lion, he tried to do I don't know what, he went into reggae. There's so many things that people don't realize he's involved in that has failed. And he said, failure doesn't matter because I was just enjoying the journey. Because I pick things that I really, truly am going to enjoy. If there's anything that I'm not going to enjoy, I'm not going to do it because failure is inevitable in certain projects. And at least I was having fun. And I was like, that's such a...
It's a brilliant
way to look at it, you know. Yeah. And a lot of high achievers are not programmed to think that way.
Not at all.
You know, we're all programmed to think that we need to do stuff for ulterior motives that are not actually even most of the time ours. They've been built into us, or that we've been convinced as children that this is the way we're supposed to be. You know?
Yeah.
When in reality, there are a lot of people that, you know, will be happy to own a small house and have a easy car and be able to just chill all day and not work so hard. There are people that don't mind that. We're all different, you know?
You know what I see in some entrepreneurs, even my clients, they want to make more money and then more money and then more business and then more people and then more team and then more offices, more stuff. And then you build a life that is controlling you.
Yes.
The things that you own, they own you.
Yes.
This is the biggest problem I see because they can't say stop.
Yes. That's a spiritual problem.
That's true.
That's a deeply spiritual problem with spiritual answers that are not. That's the 10 pillars of life mastery is part of the ascension method. The ascension method is kind of like the philosophy of what we do. And what we do first is answer these big questions. So it's all the philosophical questions. And then those philosophical questions go into the mind, which is how are you programmed since you were a child? That's why I did hypnosis and NLP and all of that stuff, to study how to reprogram the mind in order for you to be aligned with the big questions that we have reformatted, you know? Once you reformat these questions and you apply them to your subconscious mind, which is 95% of you, your unconscious self, then it becomes a power engine that is sustainable.
You don't get sick, right?
No, it doesn't burn out. That's the point.
Because you're doing things out of joy, out of purpose.
Yes.
Actually, when we did the coaching together, you helped me a lot with that because I was not in a bad place, but I was still struggling.
Yes.
Business was going well, but I wasn't happy at all. And then you helped me understand that one of my values is freedom.
Yes.
So I don't care how much money I make if I don't have my freedom, if I don't have my freedom of choice. Choose the people that I want to work with, choose my team, choose the time also. Because I don't want to be in the office 24 hours a day. That's a nightmare for me. You can give me 100 millions, I will never do it. And then you help me realize and make better decisions coming from my values, my answers, my perspective. That's so important.
I asked you a very simple question, which is if you feel like you don't have freedom, then why are you an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You know, I asked you, why did you want to be an entrepreneur? Oh, because I lived my life. I was doing my things my own way. I want to do but okay, if you're doing that, then why do you feel like all of a sudden your business went into a place where you feel like you're not free?
Yeah.
And that is a spiritual question.
Yeah.
Right?
Tell me more about the other pillars. What's next?
So after that, you're putting me in a place. My memory is like, I'm known to be not very good at memorizing.
Tell me the most important in your opinion.
So these 5 are the primary ones.
Okay.
And then the secondary ones that got like kind of discovered later on, one of them is, for example, knowledge development, financial security.
Yeah.
And that was very important to me at some point, because when you start doing things out of joy, sometimes you lose
get no money.
It's not about not getting any money. I don't want that to be a limiting belief. It's your relationship with the money also goes in that way. It becomes all about joy. And then like what I discovered was I was just having too much fun and I was spending all my money. Whatever, how much money was coming was going out. Like I wasn't planning. I wasn't.
Also, for example, I like playing football, but if I start playing football 24 hours a day, I can't make it my business because I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
So you do things out of joy, but you have to find a way to do it in your business.
Yes. And you helped me with that, like understanding that stuff with the marketing and things like that, which was how can you do what you enjoy and you love and makes you free and all of that, and still structure it in a way which doesn't take away your joy, but still is structured in a way that makes money. So I had you. Thank you for always your advice. And I have a business coach now that's teaching me how to look at things in that way, how to structure things in that way without losing the joy. So who do I hire, where, what do I let go of, what? Because I'm still my business is still 3 people, right?
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
My philosophy is build a small successful business and just be happy. Small successful business. Yes. I don't want to be the guy who owns 200 offices, 1 million employees. No.
But that's because you're enough.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You have an idea of what's enough because you've seen the other way. And you're like, no. Listen, I want to. But a lot of people haven't gone there. A lot of people are still struggling. A lot of the people I work with are struggling with exactly that.
Yeah.
They're at a point in their life where they're like, I have all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I have stuff. And you said it perfectly right. I own all of this stuff that I feel owns me. I use this example all the time. I was with one of my clients and he owns a Ferrari something. I'm not a Ferrari expert. And I'm sitting with him in the car, and it was probably the most stressful hour of my life. Literally. He's on the phone, and he's screaming at people, and he has road rage. And we arrived. He booked my time to go with him on a meeting that he needed my advice on, let's say from a spiritual perspective.
Okay.
And it was a big deal that he had to do for his company. And so I went with him. And by the time I got there, I'm like, I don't want to go to this meeting, man. I'm like, you're like this before we even went to the meeting. I'm like, just sit down, take a moment, and let's think of something. I'm like, okay. So I took him to the breath work. We calmed the thing, and I asked him, where are you now? And he's like, I'm in the parking, about to go to a meeting. I'm like, no, where are you now? He's like, sitting in a parking lot. I'm like, no, where are you now? Until like maybe 10 times I asked him, he's like, I'm sitting in my car. I'm like, okay, what is this car? And he's like, it is a Ferrari. I'm like, do you notice what you're sitting in? Like, have you ever sat in your car, smelled it, touched it, like realized that this is the car of your dream, that you've been dreaming about it? He comes from humble beginnings too, It's something that you build your whole career and you drive it every day. Do you ever sit in your car and think, I'm driving my Ferrari, Like he has 10 other cars, right? This was his baby car. I'm like, do you ever do that? He's like, no. And then we realized this guy lives in a super mansion in Palm. He bought like 2 villas, opened them up on each other and built this mansion. He has an underground garage. I'm telling you, he has like 10 supercars or something like that. And I'm asking him, do you ever realize, like when you go home, do you realize the home you go to? He's like, I have no conscious awareness of any of this stuff.
My God. His mind is always there at work maybe, or
not enough. Why? Because he is not, he inside of him, there is not enoughness. He isn't enough.
A few weeks ago when I took a flight business class, I published the photo in the group with my team, and one team member said, oh, but next you have to buy your own private jet. And I say, you know why? Fuck the private jet. Because if you own, the only reason why you should own a private jet is that if you're traveling all the time for meetings and meeting people, that's a life I don't want.
Yes.
So if you own a private jet, for me, you're broke.
Yeah. Well, if
Your life is broken.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to have a meeting every day in a different city.
It doesn't align with your dream.
With me, no.
Yeah.
No. So then, yeah, you have the private jet, you have meetings every day, you're busy, but then you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you have no friends.
That's like another question.
way.
Like one of the things I've always dreamed of was owning a house abroad somewhere.
Okay.
Right? And then my friend once asked me, he was very financially savvy, much more than me. He's like, why do you want to buy a house? I'm like, somewhere I can go. Like, he's like, how often are you going to go? He's like, you have a 7-year-old daughter now. How often are you going to go? Like twice a year, max?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, just rent an Airbnb.
That's it.
And that's it. He's like, you can rent the best
That's
Airbnb.
it.
And it's true. What? Like, again, this is something that's been drilled into me in my head as a kid.
Because if you don't have your own mansion, you're a loser.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
High achievers thinks that way a lot.
Yeah.
And also you compare yourself to other achievers. So maybe you have more than me, then I feel bad, then I have to level up, and then you enter this infinite challenge.
That's another thing about high achievers and performance, is that comparing yourself to other people is another way to surely reach burnout.
Yeah.
Surely. Or failure. It's one of two. At some point you're going to get to that place. That's all the greats talk about this. Like, it's easy to become number one. It's easy to become number one by thinking, I'm going to beat this guy and beat this guy and beat this guy. But then you're going to become number one. And then what? Who do you have to set your goal to be able to stay at number one?
Yeah.
There's nobody. That's a lot of people that are one-hit wonders that like go win one time or win like one, like tennis, for example, like a glamorous, one of the top 4, whatever.
Then they disappear.
Grand Slams, whatever, and then they disappear. That's on a mindset level. A lot of times that's their problem, is that they're not formulating their success with a sustainable strategy.
So what is the sustainable strategy? What are the key elements?
As cliche as it sounds. Sorry, what's
the question is how you can be number one and sustain that type of success for years.
If you are not in anything that brings you joy, which means that every day you wake up and you enjoy the journey towards becoming number one, then you're in the wrong field. And then eventually it's just the journey and you and yourself. Every day you're trying to become a little bit better for yourself every day because it brings you joy, right? It's not because you're looking at someone else. That's envy. That's all of these negative
bad
things.
Frequency.
Judgment, envy, all of that. Bad frequency, exactly. Energy is wrong. It's not aligned. And then eventually you get to the point where you're at a point, Roger Federer says that, all of these guys say that. If you're not enjoying it, if you don't enjoy the grind, if you don't enjoy waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like you're saying, getting out, going on the tennis court, doing the stretches, afterwards going to the gym, then going to your massage routine. If you're not enjoying this, yes, there's going to be 20% of the time, 10% of the time, you're going to be like asking, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But as long as it's 10, 20% of the time, it's all right. We're not talking perfection here, because perfection is also bad, But you go every day and you enjoy yourself, you enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey, until one day you don't anymore. That's when these guys quit. They're like, okay, it's too painful now. I don't enjoy it anymore.
What happens if you keep pushing?
Burnout.
You get sick. Yeah.
But it's exactly. You asked me that question, right? You get sick, you fail, like all of that stuff. All of the above.
Yeah.
Fail is actually the best case scenario. When it hits your health, then you start realizing. Somebody said when you have a health problem, there's only one thing you're thinking about.
What is it?
Your health.
That's true.
When your health is okay, you're always thinking about a million things.
That's true.
Right?
That's
it's
so
such
true.
a wise statement.
Yeah.
A lot of the people I work with, unfortunately, come to me when it's already late.
Too late.
You came to me when it wasn't too late, when there was stuff like this. But a lot of people come to me with where I was. Like, I'm broken. And the craziest thing is, because of the profile of the people I work with, they have everything. The first year I used to do this, it used to like really shock me. How can you have all of these? Because in my mind, also in those days when I started about almost 10 years ago, when I started doing all this stuff, how do you have all of these things and you're unhappy? Because still within me, I'm thinking the road to happiness is to have things.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember there was something you told me when I came to you because I was stressed about money. And you asked me, what happens to your business if you don't make money for a month? And, no, you asked me, what happens to your personal finances? And I say, nothing happens. What happens if you don't make money for 6 months? I say, nothing happens because I got savings. What happens if you don't make money for a year? Still nothing happens. And then you told me, so what are you worried?
Yeah.
So you worried about things that do not change anything in your life at all.
Yes. They don't.
But the way you feel it, like you told me, I remember you told me you are suffering at a level 10 out of 10 for something that is making an impact of 2 out of 10 in your life or 1 out of 10. And this is what I was going through.
Yeah.
My perception of the problem was huge while there was not a big issue. If we don't make money for a month, nothing happens.
We all perceive our reality differently than it really is. All of us. This is something that is a basic principle of human existence, of being a human being. You perceive things on the way. So the way we communicate it in the business is there's raw data, right, and there's your meaning making process, right. And the raw data is the same for you, it's the same for me, it's the same for her, it's the same for anybody that's sitting around. They're getting the exact same raw data. And our processing of it is completely
different.
Unique. That's what makes us very unique as human beings. That's it. That is it. The meaning-making process, it's called. And that's at a subconscious level. You have no conscious control over it.
Wow.
No conscious control.
How do you change your subconscious then?
That's magic.
That's a big question, eh?
That's the magic. That's the magic. I mean, traditionally, it's a very, very tricky question because a lot of people will tell you, like there was a period of time about 10 years ago where the concept of repetition became very, very popular, which is repeat something, I think it was 100,000 times, and then you will become a master of it or something.
Because you do it unconsciously.
Yes, that is correct, but it's technically impossible. Because you have to do it 1,000,000 times or whatever the number is perfectly without a mistake, right? Because every time you make a mistake, what happens subconsciously is it resets.
Yeah.
Right? It goes back to your comfort zone. It goes back to what it was before. So you have to repeat it again. Professionals at sports or whatever they are in, they do it perfectly because they have the coach that's watching every single movement, every single millimeter, So yes, I'm coming to practice my forehand, for example, and I have to 1,000
And now they
times
have
a day.
technology, they have a lot of stuff.
Yes, they have everything that's measuring everything per milliliter, per millimeter, and they have alarms and they have 50 coaches. Yes, at that level, it makes sense. You can. It's like this, from a nutrition perspective, for example. I'm just giving you examples of things that are in the mainstream and how they're perceived. There was this Netflix documentary that came out about athletes that are vegetarian.
I saw it. Yeah.
And it was very misleading because you have athletes that are built and look and so whatever, but these are extreme models. They can consume 6,000-7,000 calories and have the right amount of protein, right amount of whatever. And it became so misleading for the normal person. I have nothing against the vegetarian. I don't judge. Like whatever suits you for your values or whatever, it's yours. But things like this are very misleading because this research and this stuff is based on people that are genetically freaks, lifestyle freaks, whatever.
And they have a chef making the meals for them.
They're
so
freak
of course,
mode people, right? These people, yes, I understand these things apply to them, but to the normal person like me and you, or even not me and you, like me and you are, maybe a freak level underneath or two. The normal common Joe person that's out there that's trying to lose weight or that's trying to live a healthy life, that doesn't apply to you. So again, to reprogram your subconscious mind, we went on a tangent. To reprogram, there's repetition with perfection, right? The next step is to understand how to manipulate this issue of repetition, which is, let's say, for example, you have road rage, okay? And you're driving down the street, and anybody that has road rage, which I had really badly.
Me too. Of course. It's the basic.
Italian, Yemeni, same. So you're driving down the street and you have this episode of road rage. It's very unconscious because you don't choose to. You don't want to be that person.
Just triggers, boom.
Yeah, like you said, I want to be the wiser old brother, and I want to have this personality now that I'm grown up. I don't want to be this reactive asshole, So what you do is you start catching it. You start making the unconscious conscious.
So it's about self-observation.
Self-observing. And the first time you do it, you let it pass. The second time you do it, you start understanding what's making me do that. Is it the kind of person? Is it the color of the person that's driving? Is it the type of car? Is it me? I haven't eaten.
Yeah. What happened to me that day? Yeah.
What happened to me that day that had me react that way? And then you start mitigating all of these factors. Right? I'm well fed. I'm not hungry. I'm hydrated, blah, 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 and stuff. And you see, and slowly, by cutting out things, you come to the point. For me, unfortunately, and I'm being very honest, it was a very, very racist thing. Yeah. Because and then when I did deep work with it, with my coach, I realized that it comes from my father. My father was a very, very angry driver. And he used to be very he was very judgmental towards certain nationalities and certain ethnicities. These were the people that were idiots and they didn't know how to drive.
Crazy.
And somehow subconsciously, although you know me, I'm not like that at all. I'm a judgment-free kind of person.
Yeah.
This is my life ethos. It's no judgment, judgment-free life. And when I found that out about myself, I'm like, wow, that's wild. It's crazy. So I had to heal something within myself. Very, very deep.
So being present in the moment, and be able to observe your thoughts, right? And where they come from.
Yes. Technically, making the unconscious conscious.
And this is how you start making a change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because making the unconscious conscious is the first level of change subconsciously. It's called awareness, right?
Yeah.
So consciousness, basically. It's like you have this dark pit where there are all these negative thoughts and emotions, blah, blah, blah. And then one day you're conscious of it, you're aware of it, and it's like a spotlight is on this negative thought, Negative thought is like, he found me.
Yeah.
And then you basically start working around that.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? How can I change it? And then you change the reaction from it. Reaction, just for the viewers, is a reenactment. So that's why it's called a reaction. You are not taking an action. You are being reactive, which means you are acting something that happened to you that traumatized you over and over and over.
You're doing it automatically, right?
Yes. When I discovered this reactive thing about the road rage, I did some deep work on it, and I imagined the time when I was in my father's car. And I must have been like 5 or something like that, or 6. And I was in the back of the car, and I remember my dad literally so angry. This is what I remember. I don't even know if it's true or not or whatever. Your memories are corrupted. But it's real to me, to my subconscious. My dad is literally out of this car screaming at this person, right, on an intersection. And I was at the back, like almost going to pee myself from fear.
Wow.
How scared I was. And I came to me really, really, really vividly. And I was like, damn, and then the one thing that I thought about was my daughter. And I'm like, I am sometimes angry when my daughter is there. And I was like, this has to change now.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely now. Now it's so much better. So much, especially if she's in the car. Like, if she's in the car,
you're a different
automatically
person.
I'm a different person, And now it's also becoming like my wife, because my wife sometimes is like, oh my God, you make me so tense in the car,
Yeah.
And so now I'm starting to try to change for her too.
Yeah.
I have a driving principle.
Yeah.
The other thing, the third level of subconscious change is to do some work with like a hypnotist or NLP practitioner. That's the quickest way to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
NLP.
Yeah. NLP, hypnosis is really good. Some breathwork techniques like 9D breathwork and stuff like that.
I will ask you about that in a moment.
Yeah. Meditation can really, really help.
Do you think the environment also can help, like changing the environment, like friends, people?
It definitely helps, but it doesn't help on a subconscious level. It helps on a conscious level.
Okay.
It can maybe decrease your stress levels.
Yeah.
Your reactivity. And
yeah, maybe hanging around better people with a higher level of consciousness.
Yeah. Of course, that helps, but it doesn't help. I don't think it helps cure the subconscious.
Yeah, it's a work you have to do on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Tell me more about, I know you've been into any kind of biohacking, any kind of, you like to experiment a lot.
Yeah.
What are the biohacking tricks or tools or systems that you found are working best, in your opinion, for entrepreneurs or athletes or anybody who want to improve their performance?
But biohacking is a very, very wide term. So it revolves everything from sleeping to relaxation, to recovery, to nutrition, to everything. So it's a really, really big world. And that's actually where the 10 pillars of life mastery comes from. So every single pillar is
actually biohacking.
It's actually a biohack.
Okay.
Yeah, and it came from biohacking. Yeah.
But everybody's asking for the secret like treatment or the secret.
I know.
Give me some secrets.
Everybody wants a magic pill.
Yeah, exactly.
I genuinely do not think that there is one, to be honest. I think there is a path to discovering what works for you the best. Like, for example, I love ice baths, but
too.
I can't. I'm allergic to
really?
the cold.
Okay.
I can't. Like, it really affects my health.
Okay.
And so just last year, I decided to stop because I went to see a doctor and he's like, listen, if you keep doing what you're doing, one day you might go into an anaphylactic shock and you might die.
My God.
Literally. Because one of the times I stayed in, I think it was 1 degree water for about 15 minutes. And I came out and I literally, like, I wasn't able to breathe and I was panicking and I almost had a panic attack. I had I've never had like anxiety or like a panic attack or something. And I remember I was sitting in the shower and I turned the heat on just to get the heat back because I was like shivering and the pain was unbelievable. And I turned red. Like I had all of these like hives, like like itchy hives. And it turned out that I'm actually allergic to the cold. And I used to have those, but not so much. What I'm trying to say is there is not one thing that will work for everybody. You have to go out and explore. And yes, red light therapy, sauna is good. Ice baths are good. But for me, as a high achiever and a high performer, I think one of the main things that is overlooked is actually desensitizing your nervous system or deactivating your nervous system.
What does it mean?
It means it's the opposite of what all of these things are.
Okay.
Because all of these things activate your nervous system.
Yeah.
So the heat, the cold, whatever, all of that.
Even the intense breath work, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The issue with that is that you are usually in an activated nervous system anyways as a high achiever, you know? And chronic stress is an accumulation of all of these stressors. So why did the pillar of workout become movement? Because to me, if you are a very, very high achiever and you come to me with chronic stress and you tell me I do HIIT workouts 4 times, 5 times a week, I'm going to tell you you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's not what you need. You know, it's okay to do HIIT once, twice a week, maybe. But just because of your profile and how stressed out you are, maybe you should choose different types of exercises that actually deactivate.
So it's still movement, but in a different way.
Yes. Maybe it needs to be something with flow. Maybe it needs to be yoga. Maybe it needs to be Pilates. Maybe it needs to be something like that. Not
high intensity all the time.
Not high intensity all the time, especially if you're living a chronically stressful life, you know?
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
You're right about it.
So when it comes to biohacking, it's really dependent on your profile. I think also the recent research that's coming out with stuff like sauna, with ice baths and stuff like that is completely different than what people are doing on Instagram and TikTok and these places, you know?
Like what?
Because there is benefits to a certain degree to these things. Like, for example, the last research paper I read said that beyond 3 minutes of ice bath, there is no benefit.
I heard about that.
Except mental.
Mental.
So there is no physical in terms of performance, in terms of biohacking. The only thing that could be better is the fact that you're able to stay and mentally kind of control your, all the emotions.
But that again will depend on your profile, how stressed out you are, and everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's the only benefit there might be.
Yeah.
But as benefit physically, there's no benefit.
Yeah,
beyond
I
3
heard
minutes,
about that.
You know, and some people are saying it's even less now. and not as cold as people imagine the water needs to be.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It doesn't need to be 10 degrees.
Yeah, some people say just a shower, just a cold shower will be enough.
Yeah. It theoretically, it needs to be colder than you are used to.
Yeah.
So it could be 15 degrees if you're used to showering here in like 40 degrees water every day. You know, if you take a 15-degree cold shower, it's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
You know?
But let me tell you that since when I started the cold shower, because I don't have a cold plunge at home, so just the cold shower, I felt better immediately.
Yes.
I stopped drinking coffee. That was my coffee, basically. Maybe once a day I just drink coffee. Before I was taking 3, 4, 5 espressos a day.
Yeah.
So that's my coffee.
Yeah.
And only 2 minutes maybe under cold water every day, and I haven't got sick in a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it works.
For sure.
But if I did
take a
more
cold
than
shower.
that, maybe,
I take a cold shower every day. I just don't take
the ice
negative
bath.
one,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
ice bath.
Yeah,
That doesn't work for my body. I take a cold shower every day. My routine, I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, tell me about your routine.
I wake up in the morning. I wake up at about 5:30 in the morning. I have drop off for school for Ayla at 7:15. So I have between 5:30 and 7:15 to myself.
The magical hour.
That's the magical hour. I wake up at 5:36, depending on how difficult a day I had the day before. I wake up. I immediately go to the toilet, help myself, and then immediately go out for a walk in the sun. I get sun exposure. Walk at the same time to get my heart rate up. I jump in the pool. I do 10 sprints in the pool directly, like super sprints.
Okay.
I do like sprint. Get out of the water, go upstairs, take a shower, do my morning routine, like shaving, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Sit down for like a 10-minute kind of reset, calm everything down, and then I take my daughter to school.
Okay. That's the most important thing of the day, I guess.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
I for some reason the past year I had a brain fog issue. Like it was really severe. Like I'm not just saying a little bit of fog. Like I really was really struggling with brain fog, and I tried everything. I did hormonal tests, whatever. They did this like test on my brain. I swear, like they did everything. Everything was clear. And so I went back to what I know. I realized that there was something stressing me out. And as soon as I started doing this routine, it just kind of like within 2 or 3 days, it went away.
What about the rest of the day? Any other
routine?
Yeah, routine or something.
So I drop her off and then I go directly to the gym. I do my workout. Now that I'm going into 50, it's more about
weights.
It's more about muscle mass.
Yeah, muscle. Okay.
You know, all this research of muscle mass and longevity is quite common. People know that now. And it's all about maintaining my muscle mass now. So it's all about lifting heavy, of course, with consciousness, and then I start my day of work. I work maybe 5-6 hours a day. Yeah, but my 5-6 hours are
intense
super
with focus.
Yeah, I practice the Pomodoro technique. Do you know that?
No, I know what Pomodoro is, but the technique I never
funny.
heard of.
It's a technique where you are. I think it's about 21 minutes on.
Okay.
5 minutes off.
Okay.
And I have this time. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a timer.
I have the timer.
Yeah. I have a timer. Switch it on. 21 minutes.
Okay.
I focus on my
no
task.
social media, no other stuff.
No. My task at 21 minutes. Social media is a whole other issue. I separated my phones. So that was my way of dealing with social media. I have a phone that's just social media, and I have a phone that has
for work.
my other stuff, phone, WhatsApp, whatever. The social media phone stays in the office always. Like if I go out, like now, I don't have it with me.
Amazing.
So I don't check it. I don't, because I just social media is.
I know.
For me, it's like crack. Like
it's a devil.
I don't know. Like I wanted to be that person that has social media and doesn't check it. But I couldn't be that person. You know, it's important to acknowledge these things within yourself.
Yeah. But how can somebody find out about their own routine? How have you been able to find out what's working for you? You tested different things. Yeah. How do you know when you are in the right track?
Feel good.
You feel good.
Joy. You don't feel like anything.
And it's sustainable, right? It has to be sustainable.
I love swimming.
Yeah.
For me, swimming is I grew up on the beach. I'm a beach kid. You know, I'm a water kid.
Yeah.
For me, waking up and being in the water in the morning is absolutely heaven. Like it's not, I look forward to it. I wake up and I'm like, bing, I go to the pool, you know, like this is the first thing. I feel like a kid again when I'm in the water.
Yeah.
This is one of the pillars is child play.
Child play.
Yeah, that was one of the last pillars. Child play is this concept of doing stuff purely for joy, without any thinking of results, of achievements, of anything. Yeah. So every year I pick a child play project. Like last year it was playing the drums.
Okay.
This year it's starting tennis again.
Oh, wow.
So I always, and like with tennis, for example, the rule of it's staying in the child play corner is that it doesn't become competitive for me. That's my rule, because I'm a very competitive person. So now my coach is seeing me get better and better and better. It's like, you need to start playing tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, like, no.
I'm like, this is my hour. I come here. I just want to hit the ball, enjoy the flow, laugh with you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Maximum, my competition is with my cousin Nabil that kicks my ass all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
You
know, whatever. It's just my time with him, an hour a week, and that's how we hang out as boys.
This is what I was able to do with boxing, because boxing, I really like it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get injured, bro. Because, you start doing the fights, and then my friends, come on, let's do a fight.
Yeah.
And then you sign up for a fight. Then maybe you lose. And if you lose, then you want to win.
Yeah.
So you sign up for another fight. And then you can't stop. And then I only box with friends that I know, and we just go super light, super easy. I still enjoy, but I don't get injured. Because what's the point? Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's okay. Even if you get into a point where you want to go fight, it's okay. I don't care. But it's not child play anymore.
Yeah.
When we're studying the,
you have to be conscious what you're doing.
Yes, it's not. This is not child play anymore.
Yeah.
When you start doing that kind of stuff, where it starts becoming a bit about ego, and I want to compete, I want to get better. Okay, now it's moving from child play into movement, right? So, what are we filling the child play with now? All of a sudden, because
so you can still do it, but you need to be conscious.
Yes,
and maybe you need to be conscious that it's going to bring stress into your life.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Often that happens. Child play often with high achievers, it almost always moves. Like now with the drums, for example, my teacher is seeing that I'm getting really good, and he's like, "You need to start jamming with other musicians."
Yeah.
Right. Like you need to, and he introduced me to people, and I'm like, okay, this is still fun. I'm gonna do it. But now these guys say we want to play in venues and we want to do stuff, and I'm like, no, this is where for me it stops, because now it's becoming something a bit more serious, a bit more commitment, and I can't do it. So now it's still in child play. It hasn't moved. You see, like this move is common. It happens a lot. People start things because they enjoy it, and even in their careers and whatever. Like a lot of people that have careers that they were dreaming of when they were kids. I want to be this. I want to become an athlete. I want to become whatever. And then all of a sudden it becomes a job, right? Yeah. And it's not about that anymore. So how can you keep that balance? It's a very, very interesting perspective. In our business, we're doing what we love.
Yeah.
And then you have to balance it with it becoming a serious thing. Like it's not playing anymore. You're doing something very serious.
Yeah.
So how can you keep that joy? How can you keep that balance as a leader, as an entrepreneur is a very, very tricky equation.
So do you think the secret is to be able to balance out all the pillars? What's the goal?
This is something
you can't be everywhere balanced all the time, right?
I had to come to term with the fact that this idea of balance is bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah,
it's not true, especially for the kind of people I work with. There's no balance in our lives. There's no balance.
Okay.
There's no balance. There is consciousness.
Okay.
For me, it's much better, right? Do you want to work until 12, 1 a.m. every day for 2 weeks? Because that's what I'm doing. We're okay, this is like a marketing thing here, but we're launching the Ascension system, which is an online system. And so if I've been working on this for a year, and there was many sleepless nights, but I'm aware I'm sleeping at 1 a.m. I understand the impact of it. I understand how to mitigate it the next day.
Yeah.
That's the importance of that. 10 pillars is a live thing. Like I look at it like this thing with 10 tentacles. It moves here and flowing. It morphs that way and it morphs that way depending on where you are in your life. If you're having problems, like we were any relationship, been married 15 years. Sometimes we have issues and I have to focus on my relationship, and it takes away. So it's
moving the focus, right?
Yes.
The goal is to move the focus and be conscious what's happening all around you all the time.
Yes.
And then intervene only where you see the necessity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, right now, I'm working on this ascension system. I'm having issues with my wife, and let's say I have an injury. Okay, so my focus has shifted to these three things. There isn't going to be balance with fun and play, and and stuff like that.
Definitely.
There isn't going to be that balance. Even my movement now, because I'm injured in my hip, I have a lot of physio to do. So even my movement and stuff has changed.
It's limited.
Can't play tennis. I can't do all of these things. So.
But you know what's the issue with the high achiever? Because I'm one of them. You feel like shit. You are angry when this happens. Like, shit, I was going in the right direction for my business or for my workouts, and now I have to stop. Because I was injured at my bicep, and now it's been 3 months. I can't do pull-ups. And I was trying to beat myself every single time and do more pull-ups every single workout. Then I got injured. And now I can't do pull-ups. And now I feel like shit. I feel so bad. And I'm angry. Because I'm like, now I'm losing muscle. It's not true. I'm not losing muscle because I'm not doing the biceps. Come on.
That's a spiritual issue.
Yeah, but I feel bad. Like you feel angry because you are wasting time. You're falling behind, and
it's really interesting. Anger, any negative emotion, is very misunderstood. It's all of these emotions are a message, right? And you have to sit with yourself and think, why am I angry? Like, what's really making me angry? And you'll find out that there is something very deeply spiritual about what you're going through. The reality is, a lot of us get angry because we fall out of flow. We fall out of surrender. Right? This is how I look at it. When I start getting angry, I'm like, okay, what am I not surrendering to? I'm not, now, like when my hip got injured and I can't play tennis anymore, it's annoying. I've been working on my tennis, and my swing was like finally starting to like loosen up, and I was like whipping the ball. Like, because tennis changed from when I played. Like when I played, tennis was very static and straight, and now like
the movement.
Now the movement is completely different, right? So I was learning this for months, every day, repetition, and finally I started to flow, and then something happened with my hip, and now with time and with growth and with wisdom, I guess. The little bit that I'm having is I'm starting to surrender. If these things happen, they're just happening.
Will it heal faster if you surrender? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Because there's no resistance. There's no. If you believe that it's happening for a reason, and it is happening for a reason, then it will heal faster.
Maybe the injury is a message. You have to stop.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
I went to Bali with my kid and my wife. I don't know if I told you this.
I know the story.
And we were all on a bike. And second day I was there. I don't know if I told you this. I had booked a coach for every single day I was there for tennis.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I took my equipment. Okay. I took everything. I found this court. It's in the middle of the jungle. Beautiful greenery everywhere. I was like, oh, this is the dream. Wake up in the morning, ride my bike, go to the tennis court. There's nothing better, Second day I was there, I injured my toe on the bike, right? And it was a disaster. I couldn't swim. I couldn't go on the beach. I couldn't do anything with my daughter. I couldn't even carry her half the time. Like, I couldn't do anything. Hardly walk, I pushed myself to walk a lot, bandaged it and stuff like that. I was like, I deal with it when I go to Dubai, but it completely ruined my vacation. But this is exactly the thought I had. It was necessary for it to happen because I was burnt out. I was tired. I needed a break. And I truly, truly believe that happened for me to just stop. Stop. Sit down and read a book all day for a week. Yeah. It's okay. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I ended up having to sit while they're going and jumping in the pool and playing and discovering on the beach or whatever. I had to sit on a bed and read a book and just, instead of sitting there thinking, vacation got ruined, blah, blah, blah. Just surrender. There's a reason for it.
And also your journey, I always say it's like the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin goes up, down, up, down. It's like that.
It's everybody. If you really pay attention to it. For me, I think it's an extreme. You know what happened when I went to try to go surfing one time almost died.
I know.
But it's like that because I feel like I'm always in surrender. And then God sends you these like, we have a saying that says, God, it's not a saying, it's a religious text that says God does not give you more than you can handle.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I believe that people that get the stuff that are big that they need to handle right? There are people that have even much worse things than me, much worse up and downs. They're the people that are probably older souls that have been a little bit more evolved. They're at a time where they're being tested heavily, you know, so that they can come out of this experience and feed it into the collective consciousness, because there is no other explanation. If you believe in God and you believe in these things and you believe in a superpower, whatever you believe in, you have to come to terms at some point that this is happening for a reason, or else you're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's why I'm telling you, at the end of the day, and you're the master of that too, in your own world, at the end of the day, spirituality is absolutely essential for you to put a framework of perception on your life in order for you to have a sustainably joyful, stoic life.
Maybe now that I'm thinking, it's maybe the biggest of the pillars, spirituality, right?
Absolutely.
Because either you think the world is a complete mess, totally random, or there's an order and there are laws.
Yes.
And it's crazy when you start opening up your eyes, you look around, you look at events in your life, how you manifest those events, you're like, damn, there's always a reason. The problem is the reason you understand it later, after everything happened. When you're in the middle of the problem, you're like, shit, why? Why is this happening to me? You don't understand the reason. But then after, you're like, now I get it. Sometimes you don't even get the answer, sometimes, but you still have to believe that it's there for you.
There is one.
There is one. There has to be one.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at my life and all of these things that were ups and downs and ups and downs and ups, absolutely necessary. It was absolutely necessary. For it to happen. It was the worst thing that could have happened to me in my life at that time. When I lost my first job in the government, when I lost my job in the airport, you understand I had the whole family to support. It was the worst thing that could happen to me. I was in debt because I wasn't catching up. You know, I had to pay my rent, their rent, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't catching up. The moment I lost my job, it was a disaster immediately. Like, you know how I told you have 1 year where I didn't have a day. After 1 week, the bank already started calling me. You're defaulting on payments. You know, blah, blah, blah.
And banks in Dubai are pretty serious.
Yeah. And those days, it was much worse. Talking about 30 years ago, 25 years ago.
It's a crime.
You know, it was a crime. Yeah, you go to jail. So when I look at these situations, it was absolutely necessary for it to happen.
Yeah.
If all of this didn't happen, I wouldn't have accumulated the knowledge I have now. The reason why I'm so good at what I do
Totally agree.
is because I've lived it. I've been into it so many times, and I processed it and I understood it, and I finally understand the higher spiritual reasons for all of it.
And people feel the authenticity when you tell in the stories. Like I can feel that you've been through the burnout, the real burnout.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This also happened to me when I was broke, when I was trying to sell my products, my courses, when I was selling tickets on the beach in Ibiza, in Spain, and nobody was listening to me. I've been through that.
Yeah.
So now I can help entrepreneurs sell because I knew and I found out the hard way how to do it.
Yes.
And those stories now, they're also building my personal brand. Yes. And the reason why I'm able to attract people online, because they resonate with my stories, because they know, they feel it's real. Yeah. And I've been through that stuff.
Yes.
So it's a blessing, but you only realize it later. Yeah. When you're in the middle of that, it's a nightmare. But you have to find the faith. So last question for you, because we also get to the point, now we're getting there, the deep spiritual stuff. You also, just like me and other guests in the show, you have a very, very high level of consciousness. Tell me, in your opinion, what is God? What is this energy that is connecting all of us? What is your definition? What do you believe? Because you grew up as a Muslim, right? And what is your view now?
I'm still a Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say I'm a spiritualist Muslim.
Okay.
Like I practice Islam from its spiritual perspective. Mm-hmm. But I also believe that there is a deep need for knowledge of all religions, and all teachings, and understand how their perspectives can deepen your own perspective of religion, because everybody told the same story in their own perspective from their own culture.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to look at it from that angle, because
when I read the Quran, I was surprised. Yeah. Surprised. So many things that resonate with my religion.
Yeah, yeah.
And my belief also.
Yeah, I mean...
And then obviously they interpret in different ways according to their culture.
Yeah.
You know, in Islam, you can marry more than one woman.
Yeah.
For us, it's crazy in Europe, right?
Yeah.
But then these are the way you practice, right? Your religion, your belief into your life. But then the truth is they always say the same things, that we're all connected, that God is everywhere, where we have this higher energy that is connecting us all. God is the same for everyone, for every single religion.
The way I look at it is, in the beginning there was nothing and everything. Like at the beginning there was God, there was consciousness, there was this like permeated energy that everything existed in, but there was no matter, there was no 3D world, which is what we call in the spiritual world what the level of density we're in.
The simulation.
Yeah, the simulation we're in. Exactly. Yeah, the matrix. The matrix we're in. This 3D world didn't exist. And one of the interpretations in spirituality of what happened, which a lot of people call the Big Bang, the moment of creation, whatever, was that there was an overwhelming need for experience, because everything was known, but nothing was experienced, right? And so there was this overwhelming need for that experience, and that need, desire, it's called, the technical term for it, that desire became so powerful that poof, everything got created, right? Now, the fascinating thing about that is through that creation, everything got created. Time, distance, all of these concepts that
space,
all of it got created through that. But at the end of the day, we all come from that. And for me, the biggest spiritual dilemma that we all go through is we're all having a separate experience, but we're all very, very desperate to go back, because something inside of us knows how beautiful it is to just be part of everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Out of all the theory, let's call it a theory, but it's a belief, right? Yeah. But out of all these theories or belief, I think this is the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I'm still in the research. This is why I'm asking all my guests about that, because I want to debate also on this in the show. But I'm still searching, right? But out of all the things that I heard, this is the one that makes the most sense for me.
Yeah.
Because I can feel it, that we are all connected. I can feel that there's something that reunite all of us.
Yes.
And we're all connected into this field of energy, whether you call it universe, energy, God. I don't think God is like a person, like somebody observing you 24 hours a day and judging you. You're a good person, you're a bad person. I mean, I feel it very distant from my views, right? Some people believe that you're always observed by God that is watching you. I think, it's very far from what I believe, but there has to be a higher source, a higher level that is connecting us all. That's true.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter how much as a human being you try to conceptualize what God is or what it is, because you're never going to even come 0.0001%.
Your brain does not process.
You can't. We don't have the senses. We don't have the ability, the frequencies to see, to hear, to even to imagine. We don't have the ability to do that because it's all based on our experience.
Yeah.
And our experience is a dot in an ocean of what actually is happening.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? That alone doesn't allow us to, there are theories, there are whatever. But even that, heaven and hell, what God is God a man, a woman, is it a person even, whatever. Yeah. All of that is still our
interpretation,
attempt.
Maybe. Yeah, okay, yeah.
To relate from our experience what this thing is.
You can't understand God with logic. And also with science, because when they try to smash the atoms, they're like, oh, but we find smaller things and then smaller things and then smaller things.
Yes.
They want to find God in a particle.
Quantum physics.
Yeah, I know.
Quantum physics is just like, it's shattered everything.
They want to find God in a quantum particle.
Yeah.
So it's
you can't.
You can't.
There is no way you can't. We don't have the right equipment.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how evolved you are. Doesn't matter how, even if you're a Jedi monk.
Yeah.
You don't have the right equipment to be able to even come near understanding what the truth is.
But you can live your life according to what you feel.
Yes.
And if you feel that you manifest your own reality, that we are part of this creation, that we co-create reality, then you can live a better life.
Yeah, that gives you a responsibility also.
Yeah.
If you believe that you're co-creating, and we are, if you believe this is science, this is not pseudoscience. It's absolutely proven now through many, many scientific that your perception is your projection. You're projecting a reality, and this reality affects everybody. They're also projecting a reality, and then there's an interwoven reality that is collective consciousness. This is now scientifically proven.
It's proven.
Right? That gives you a responsibility. What is the quality of the projection that I need to give to humanity, to my fellow man? Because, at the end of the day, that's me and it's you, and we're all one. And we're all trying to create a collective consciousness that should be elevated. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening in the world at the moment. It feels like it's going
the opposite way.
It's going the opposite way. I wouldn't say that. I think we're on a path that we really need to be on. Like, I believe in what I believe. It's absolutely necessary. There is a collective conscious awareness at the moment, and an awakening at a level that we never saw before. It's coming at a very, very heavy expense and a very, very heavy...
I agree. But maybe those events are part of the enlightenment of the human race.
It always has been.
Yeah.
There always has been this catastrophic kind of episodes and things for creation, not just human beings, creations to evolve, when the dinosaurs disappeared. And so other cultures came, and then other cultures came, and all of that evolution that happened, it had to happen. Something dramatically had to happen for people to evolve. One of the things, for example, is AI. People are so fearful of AI, and I'm like, AI doesn't have a dot on the human consciousness. It will never be able to reach the human consciousness because it's not made up. And people that are so in their bodies and their matter that don't understand how spiritually powerful you are and what you're connected to and the kind of stuff you're connected to are definitely going to be fearful of AI. The way I see it, my imagination in my sci-fi imagination is one day AI is going to turn against human beings, and most of the devolved human beings are going to die. And the super evolved ones, like almost like Star Wars, like the Jedi kind of like thinking people that can connect into super evolved human beings that can connect into consciousness, that can, manipulate stuff and figure out that, okay, like Morpheus, like all of these things. That's going to happen. Eventually, there's going to be emerging people. They already are amongst us, by the way, people that can do crazy, unimaginable things to the normal person. These are the people that are going to be the next evolution of human beings.
The next generation, yes.
And these are the people eventually.
And maybe they will dominate AI.
Yes, of course, because then that's just matter.
Yeah.
They're going to be operating at a completely different supercomputer level.
These are the ultra high achievers.
That's Jedis and
they exist.
And the Matrix, all of these people, all of these imaginations. If you don't think these movies are going to come true, you're an idiot, because 90% of the stuff that's on them has come true. Eventually, that's what's going to happen.
Do you believe we are in a simulation?
Man, there's a guy I know on the internet that wrote this book. I'm going to send you I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Simulation or something like that. And it
can be created by God, by the way.
It spun my mind, though.
Yeah.
He completely, he looked at it from a perspective of aliens creating us as a simulation, and we are in this deep hypnotic state. And when I read this book, I didn't even finish the book, to be very honest with you. I'm so sorry. I love this guy. He's a brilliant. He's a huge influencer on Instagram. Like a type of person, and every time he posts something, it's like 50 million, whatever, crazy. I'm not a social media person, so I don't know the right figures. But he wrote this book, and this book just after about 100, I couldn't handle it. I'm like, I can't.
Too much.
It's gonna take me to a place, but so possible.
Yeah.
That we are.
There are three options. Either it's impossible to create a simulation, or second option, we could create a simulation, but we decided not to do it for any reason, government, laws, whatever. Or three, it is possible to create a simulation. This means that most likely we are into one.
I kind of went crazy for a time, for about a year. When I got out of my burnout.
Yeah, it's very scary.
When I got out of the burnout and I started discovering more about spirituality, and I got into the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and projections and realities and stuff like that, I went nuts for a year, literally. Yeah. I lost my marbles. I had to really ground myself back to earth, because I was somewhere else completely. And there was one thought that really tormented me. which was if on a scientific level, if you study people's brainwaves, okay, when you go to sleep, all right, you're elevating your brainwaves. When you go to REM sleep and deep sleep, you're elevating your brainwaves to a level, gamma, whatever, all of that, theta, all of that, which is actually the reality, which is actually the level of God, right?
It's when you exit your body.
When you exit your body, whatever is happening when you're dreaming, right? So, and then when you wake up, you go down to the lower levels of reality, the lower brainwaves, which is the gamma and the alpha and all whatever, beta and alpha and all of those. So when are you really actually? When is actually real? Is it when you're sleeping or is it when you're awake? When are you actually awake and when you're actually asleep?
Oh my God!
What
is life then?
That question flipped my mind. I have goosebumps just thinking about it because I don't want to go there. But if you really, really think about it, that perspective will answer your question. Are we part of a simulation? What is this that's happening? Like, is this real? Like, are me and you, when we're having this conversation, is this real? This is what I started questioning. Is it real? Is it not? Are you really like, are you real?
Or maybe I'm sleeping and now it's sick.
It's
well,
crazy.
if you start digging into this stuff, you will never find an answer. I mean, no. A convincing answer, no. No. So
can't.
as you said, because I'm also like you, like when I'm into also conspiracy theories, I love this kind of stuff, aliens creating civilization. But then I also want to believe in God because it makes sense for me. So it's very hard. I'm always seeking for more truth and more truth. But then you realize
God is the biggest conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah.
The biggest.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally.
Definitely.
The belief system that there is something that we can't see, that we can we follow and we obey. And it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then, as you said, then life has to go on.
Yes.
And if you are on this planet that is all about 3D stuff, money and fame and work and interacting with other people, it means we are here to experience something.
And be here, yes.
So you have to be here, not just fly, meditate all day.
That's what brought me back.
Yeah, I always say it's easy, to be relaxed when you are a monk and you are in the middle of the mountains doing nothing. But come here in the Dubai traffic all day, go to work, fight with your clients, your competitors.
Yes.
This is why we're here, in my opinion.
This is a spiritual
We have to experience the physical level.
Absolutely.
And then maybe reach the other level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Otherwise, we would be in another planet. Or we would be sleeping all day, 24 hours a day.
Yes.
But if we are wake up and we go out, we have to do things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what anchored me back.
Yeah.
That there's a reason this is happening.
You lose your mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. This is absolutely necessary. It's something that we have to do. Live this human experience. Absolutely. We're doing it for a reason.
Thank you so much, Arsalan. I think it's time to wrap it up. Final message for the audience, and let us know where we can find you.
I think the one touch point will be www.theascension, theascension.co, not com, that's the point where you can get all the entries into social media and all the other entries that you'll see. And we're launching, probably by the time this comes out, will be launched already.
Amazing.
Something called the Ascension system, which is something that you should check out if you're interested as an entry level into this world.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
It was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Arsalan.
It's always good.
Thank you.
Thank you.